Hi everyone, this is Art Smalley, President of Art of Lean Incorporated, and today on behalf of the Lean Enterprise Institute, I have another short video clip for you. This time we're going to dig a little bit deeper in the subject of situational leadership. Now in a previous video I shared with you a brief 5-minute introduction of the topic of situational leadership, and if you're interested I hope you dig in more and take a 1-day class or 3-day seminar and learn more about the topic. For me it was very beneficial. In particular, it reminds me of the Toyota production system and lean thinking very much. It's not a one-size-fits-all equation. And in the end, you're trying to help people, respect for people, and make continuous improvement. And in situational leadership, you do that by diagnosing the situation, finding out the needs, and then adapting your leadership style to the needs of the person, okay, and the tasks they're performing. So let's dig in a little bit deeper today and go into one of those specific cases, and I'll share some Toyota-ish examples, some actual Toyota examples that I hope will reinforce that point for you. Okay, so in situational leadership, when they diagnose the situation, they put people in quadrants, and they're called the development levels of D1, D2, and D3, and D4. And there's nothing wrong with being in any of these quadrants. And it's task specific, so you can be an expert at one thing and a beginner at another throughout your life. You're not an expert in all things all the time. Nobody is. And they call this first quadrant, D1, the enthusiastic beginner stage. And I'm sure many of us have felt this feeling or remember feeling this feeling before when you're engaged in a new job, new hobby, or new task for the first time, and it excites you, okay? I even experienced this last week. I was trying to learn to juggle by watching some YouTube videos from an expert using some directive techniques on how to improve. And for me, at my beginner level, that was pretty exciting. And there's nothing wrong, okay? Beginner levels are expected. You don't start off as an expert in everything. The D1 bucket category is characterized by people who are new to the task, lacking skills or experience, and you don't know yet what you don't know. So you can't ask questions, okay? You can't just simply ask open-ended questions as an instructor and think that's going to guide the learner because they don't know what questions to ask yet. But they do have a commitment to learn. They're eager to learn. They want knowledge from you. They want information. They're hungry for it. And the quicker you can give it to them, the more appreciative they are, and generally the faster they'll improve, okay? And of course, other external conditions come into play, but that's why you have to take the full-blown situational leadership course. Now, when a person's in that D1 quadrant, they do recommend applying what they call the S1 style of instruction, okay, in situational leadership. And S1 means giving good directive guidance, okay? It doesn't mean being a drill sergeant in the military or anything but putting people down. In fact, it's quite positive. Supplying good S1 leadership simply means high quality direction, showing and telling, quality repetitions, clarity of 5W2H, who, what, when, where, why, how much, good examples and definitions, clear goals, roles and priorities, and actionable feedback. And quite frankly, people want this. They're very hungry for it, especially in the initial stage when you're starting to learn things for the first time. It's a good match of situational needs for the leader, okay, for the learner of the task, and the person doing the instruction, if you can combine these two. Now, let's look at some Toyota examples and why I say this is very analogous to lean thinking and the Toyota way. First off is simply the term, the Toyota way. Way means direction, guidance, route, path, method, ways to do things. You can look in the dictionary here. A variety of definitions for way, but they're all analogous to the term of path, route, means, things like that. So the notion of the Toyota way does mean a way or direction. Doesn't mean the Toyota unway or random way or leave it up to you however you want way, at least not in the beginning. There's some flexibility for that later on as we see. The second example from Toyota I want to bring in is historical, and it's Taiichi early in his career. Several of my bosses and mentors had the privilege of working for him for a couple of decades throughout his career. And he was not a one-size-fits-all teacher, coach, leader by any means. He changed throughout his career, and it depends upon the person and the task at hand how he coached. He was very wise in that respect. But no, make no mistakes. Early in his career, he was very directive because the situation in Toyota called for that. The company was near bankruptcy. They were very poor performing company. They had a lot of bad habits, and he needed to fix those. He had to overcome some resistance and obstacles. So he was quite directive. He gave clear directions, clear goals, specific instructions on what he wanted done, how he wanted it done, when he wanted it done. You know, the whole just-in-time system didn't occur by accident, for example. If he hadn't guided it and shepherded it through, it wouldn't have occurred. Now, a third example, one that's near and dear to my heart, and I was familiar with inside of Toyota and after Toyota, is the concept of TWI Job Instruction training. Now, it would take a 10-hour course, again, simply to understand TWI Job Instruction properly, which I recommend you do. But within it is something called the basic teaching pattern. And the basic teaching pattern is designed for teaching people who are new to a task and trying to learn something, quickly, safely, correctly, and conscientiously. And the trainer follows a very specific pattern to take the learner along that path as rapidly as possible. And it's a directive. You prepare the learner. You then present the operation. The trainer explains the steps, the key points, the reasons why. The learner then tries that out on their own. It's called tryout of performance. They do it several times, again, and eventually recite back the major steps, key points, and reasons why until they're comfortable. And along the way, the coach corrects things, right? The leader corrects things, fixes small errors, and gets you ready for the next level of performance. And it's not a one and done thing. It goes on and on and on. But the reason why I like, situational leadership is it's very much like my experiences at Toyota. It's not a one size fits all. The leaders treat you according to the task and your performance level and your abilities. And the idea is respect for people and help people get better results in the shortest time possible. So in this case, that is matching today's examples. We're matching D1 and S1 situations together. And of course, you have to take into skill and will in every situation and all externalities. But look, when urgency is involved, safety is involved, quality requirements are involved, or new training situations, good direction is often the way to go. And if you don't do that, you'll frustrate learners. And if you don't do that, you're quite likely to drag out the performance curve longer than it needs to be. So I hope that makes sense. In the next video, we'll move up into the S2, D2, S2 quadrants. Of course, one size doesn't fit all here, and I'll show you some good examples of coaching and how we thought about that in Toyota. Hope that helps today. Stay safe and see you in the next video.